Roman, of all the weird, crazy, wonderful things that load shedding is causing to people, I saw today a really weird article that I think you'll know a little bit more about. And one of the unintended consequences of load shedding is apparently it's causing people to be fat. So apparently, load shedding is causing fatties. What do you think of that?
Apparently so. So according to the Tiger Brands Foundation, the people that make, polony that kills people with listeriosis and makes all sorts of other food filled with cholesterol, saturated fats, and cheap carbohydrates, they're really concerned because load shedding for them means that people are buying fast food meals at home because they can't cook, and therefore this is a risk to people's health. And right at the top, they do state that children are more vulnerable to being fat because of load shedding. And I noticed that also in the article, the share price is up 0.71%, so no doubt they are smiling. So in terms of like an art, like there was no reason for this video other than the fact that people are insane. Like, like there's a nuclear bomb every like 6 hours of the day, and then your reaction is to release a press statement saying, the problem with nuclear bombs is that it may increase the chance of obesity because we're eating baked beans. It's like, mate, there's no power, there's no electricity. What else must people eat? you know? And now you're worried that they're going to become fat by the people that make the very same food that makes people fat in the first place. I mean, really.
Yeah, I suppose this is the equivalent of the whole let's have everybody stay at home and they can't leave their house for exercise. And then they're like, did you know lockdown made people fat because they couldn't exercise?
And that's true. That's a real health crisis. And all these people supported lockdown all the way through.
Hmm. But don't worry, of all the things that Eskom and load shedding is causing, the biggest concern to the country should be that it's causing fatties. It's not about the loss of GWP. You can't have power your house. You can't have the security on. Electric fence goes down. Can't open your garage door. People dying in ventilators. Hospitals not running. Private security is not running. Freaking SAP station doesn't run because it's not got no electricity. Your
Yep.
biggest primary concern is it's causing fatties.
Yeah, it is causing fatties. And I mean, just read this. It's just an amazing thing. Sorry, let me just get this right. Children, according to the Tiger Brands Foundation, are at greater risk of developing health ailments because they're still in the formative years of their development. No shit. And then, therefore, it's important for people to educate themselves about the nutrition of the food that they are consuming, and they must make better choices with their consumption of that food. Except Tiger Brands Foundation, when there's no power, and I can't believe I have to say this out loud, when there's no power, you can't cook food. You just can't. Unless you're a raw vegan, which no one likes and no one is friends with, you can't cook food. So your only option to feed your children, perhaps when there's no power, is to get something from a fast food restaurant because otherwise
Like
they're not
KFC.
eating that day, right? Like maybe something made with polony that Tiger Brands themselves make and distribute to the entire country, causing 63% of South African women to be obese thanks to the polony produced by Tiger Brands itself. And now this very same company is worried that people are becoming obese because they can't make their polony sandwich at home because of load shedding.
You know what this is symbolic of? It's just like all these countries, all these companies just constantly like moral grandstanding. We got to write a new piece today that just talks about how great and moral and virtuous we are. We don't want people to be unhealthy. Eat our polony. It's like we need to be worried about fatties. Can you buy our product, please? It's like, come on, man. Like, I think we covered this on a other video we recently did about Nedbank. Can't companies just go back to being like capitalists, like money grabbing schemers, and just concentrate on product and shut up about all the moral grandstanding stuff? Like, we seriously don't care, man. Like,
Well, we do know exactly what this press statement was about. It's because Tiger Brands suffers during load shedding because people are relying on fast food, they're relying on everything else to get
mhm.
a meal that day, and therefore they can't use Tiger Brand products during that
Hmm.
area of load shedding. Do you think Tiger Brand cares about the reasons for load shedding, or do you think it
Nope.
has mitigated the risks of load shedding to itself? Absolutely, but to the country, has it actively campaigned against the ANC in a material way to stop load shedding? No,
Nope.
of course it hasn't. So the only way for Tiger Brand to remain relevant in all of this is to say that children are getting fat because of load shedding, and therefore we must make better choices with our food, even though we can't see what we're eating. That's essentially the whole point of the
Or
song.
cook it. So just eat their raw products. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, there is a class action lawsuit against them for terrible raw products, namely polony. But it's just, once again, like this is the type of news we have to deal with as a unbiased and objective news show, because we can either talk about this nonsense or we can talk about ANC nonsense, and I'm just tired of ANC nonsense.
You know what I honestly think. Like a lot of people will look at our sarcasm of late and just be like, "Oh, why are you guys so sarcastic?" Like, because if we're not sarcastic with this stuff, I think we just shoot ourselves, man. It's just like, do you remember once upon a time you would have submitted these articles to a news company and they would have been like, "Man, bugger off! Like, there's no ways I'm producing this.
Yeah,
That's not news. That's just rubbish." Like now the rubbish, as it used to be termed, it's like front page news, man. This is MoneyWeb. Like, what happened to MoneyWeb just telling us like what shares to buy and what's a cheap way to get cheap electricity? Now it's like, oh, load shedding causes fatties. Like, don't buy KFC. Buy some Tiger brands.
yeah, buy Tiger Brands
Content written
instead.
for you by Tiger Brands. Like,
Yeah, content
come on, man.
exactly, exactly. It's yeah. That's the news. There's nothing more to add except for companies don't tell us we're fat. We buy your products, we eat your products. That's what's making us fat in the first place. And your obsession with shelf life and with keeping it fresh for longer, and your obsession with all this other nonsense, it means that you're adding stuff in there that causes cancer, that causes listeriosis, and kills people. And now you have the audacity to come after us when you order a takeaway because there's no bloody lights, so we can't cook food at home. It's just, it's just beyond words at the moment, or words that will that keeps this video monetized at least.
Yeah. And for those of you who are wondering, Ramon is waving his Harry Potter wand because he's trying to like literally make these people disappear. It's not working. So
I have never read Harry Potter or watched the movie.
let's not go down that rabbit hole.
There's a bit of
Thanks,
trivia for you.
everyone.
Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Speak soon then.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.